and good morning. This is Kelsey from Kels Reads Things at Anna Porter Public Library in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. On this marvelous Monday morning, I am very excited to finally be discussing Finlay Donovan is Killing It by L. Cosimano. This book is an adult mystery book, but it's so much more than that. It's full of heart, love, laughter, and so much more. This story was a twist and turns at every page, and it kept me thoroughly entertained throughout. And that's one of the reasons it was one of my favorite books so far of 2021. Alright, so let's discuss the plot. Finlay Donovan is a struggling single mother as well as a mystery romance novelist, and she is a mother of two small children. She's also an exasperated wife of a selfish, arrogant ex-husband who was also a cheater, and he is unfortunately trying to take custody of her kids along with his new fiancée, the woman that he cheated on Finlay with about a year ago. And as if she doesn't have enough to worry about, poor Finlay is also behind in most of her bills, as well as a recent book deal that she has secured with her, I believe it's her agent or her editor. And of course, because of that, not only are her bills piling up, but also the inspiration that she has to write has just been faltering. And all seems like it is just lost for her until she meets with her agent very early on in the novel at a Panera Bread and is discussing her upcoming book that she's working on that she needs an advance for, and she gets mistaken for a contract killer by someone who overhears her discussing her newest mystery novel with her agents. Finlay may write about murderers and know all the best places to hide a body, but that doesn't mean she wants to turn her fiction into reality. That is, of course, she's being offered $50,000 to get rid of a despicable husband. Finlay is all too familiar with the type, and one Google search later, she finds herself caught up in a world of crime she never anticipated being thrown into. Oh well, at least this gives her some inspiration for her book and allows her to kill it. Okay, and that's the general premise and plot of Finlay Donovan is Killing It by L. Cosimano. Okay, so that was, again, the general premise. I got to say that generally this book was fantastic from page one. It was just immediately gripped me. I think the first line was something of the nature of, it's a well-known fact that moms are ready to kill someone by 8:30 on any given morning, and it's like as soon as I read that line, I knew I had to purchase this book, and I have. We do have it at the library. It is currently checked out. So now I want to talk about the things that I really liked about this book and what made it stand out to me compared to the 34 to 35 other books that I've read so far this year. So there was a lot of mystery in this book, but there was also so much heart, hilarity, just wholesomeness. The friendships that are developed in this book were just top-notch, and as I've mentioned before, I love seeing relationships develop in books, whether they're platonic, whether they're romantic. I just like seeing people being happy and being connected together, and this book definitely offered that sort of situation, so I was very happy with that. There were also a lot of twists and turns, of course. It's a mystery novel, and as the mystery unfolded, it just got better and better, and it kept my interest throughout. I will say it's not a very suspenseful mystery. There's a lot of lightheartedness to it, but it was still enjoyable nonetheless. It was definitely a book that didn't scare me, so you could read it at night is what I'm trying to say. It's one of those mysteries that's almost really light and fluffy, but not. There was just enough balance between twists and turns and the mystery of the book, as well as the heartfelt and the relationships and the friendships, that I think it was just balanced out to be a perfectly well-rounded book. There were two great potential love interests. I will say that one I preferred over the other, but I'm not really going to give any information about that away. because I want you to experience that for yourself. Finlay was a protagonist that you can't help but root for. She was a bit of a mess considering her financial situation, considering the fact that she was definitely dealing with some depression, some depletion, but at the same time, once she got her fire going, once she got invested in the insanity of this situation, she was just, again, someone you couldn't help but love and root for. She was wholesome, she cared about her kids, and she was willing to do whatever it takes to survive. And I think that she learned a lot from this experience and the relationships that she gained through it. Speaking of, one of the friendships that she develops in the book was with Vero, who used to be her nanny. Vero was fierce in the best possible way. She was a formidable character and not someone I would want to go against. She was just a great friend and support system, and someone that Finlay needed in her life. Their friendship was definitely one of my favorite elements of the book. I gotta say, it was just, in general, just very well written, and I was extremely invested in their friendship alone. So Finlay's kids were very believable. There were at times, of course, when her oldest child, I can't remember what the kid's name is, but she was about 5, I think, 4 or 5, and, you know, she would compare her dad to Finlay a lot, especially because her dad was a little more affluent and had more things in life. I say things, but he had more possessions and means of, you know, entertaining the kids, so that was a constant kind of frustration slash, you know, struggle for Finlay, you know, comparing herself to her ex-husband Steven. But at the same time, they're kids, and they also showered Finlay with a lot of love as well. I personally felt that all of the characters that were introduced, whether they were central to the story or just kind of side characters, were really distinct and well fleshed out, and they all added something to the story. Someone you would think who had the smallest amount of significance that wouldn't really matter. There was no filler, is what I'm trying to say, is they were all significant to the storyline. The dialogue between characters was honestly one of the best things about the novel. It was fun, it was lighthearted, it was also intense, it was just so well done. I thought Finlay's inner monologue was really heartfelt, sad, hilarious, relatable, and just overall entertaining. I really liked how the author planned and mapped out all the characters and their interactions with each other. You could tell that she really put a lot of thought in how this mystery would unfold, and it shows. It was a modern writing style, very genuine, very, in my opinion, relatable, and just made me love the novel that much more. I will say I listened to the audiobook and I thought it was extremely well done. I can't exactly remember the narrator off the top of my head, but I will say if you have a chance to listen to the audiobook, I highly recommend it. And finally, as an aspiring author myself, I gotta say that Finlay was a real inspiration to me. Just her resilience in general in the face of like what appeared to be doom and gloom was just, again, very inspiring. And I really felt for her, and I just, in general, was so happy to cheer her on. And the book ends with quite the twist. In fact, the next book in the series will be coming out in February of 2022, and I have already pre-ordered it for my personal use, and I will also be purchasing it for the library's use at a closer time. All that being said, I gave Finlay Donovan is Killing It 5 stars. It was absolutely my favorite, I will say, probably contemporary read of this year. My top 3 favorite reads include this book, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and of course, A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Thanks so much for stopping by today and viewing my book review video. I want to let everyone know that I'm also going to be doing a review this Friday, and we'll start doing reviews pretty much typically on Fridays because I feel like that's a time in which more people can sit down, relax, and actually watch book review videos if they're up for it. So just so you know, I'm going to be transitioning from Monday book reviews to Fridays. And this Friday I will most likely be discussing The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. It was a adult romance. I don't really know if comedy, like, There was a little bit of comedy, but it was definitely an adult romance story, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, thanks again for stopping by, and I look forward to discussing more stories with you in the future. I hope you have a marvelous Monday.